Hi, this is Steve. Welcome back to my channel, Scale Model Kit Review. I am back with another installment of the FanHome Star Trek Build the Enterprise D. I'm working on pack number 4. I do a lot here, work on some more lights, work on the internal framework, and work on the Cobra neck. A lot going on here. Why do you want to watch my channel? I do give you some helpful tips along the way, and these should help you out with your build. Speaking of which, if you haven't done so already, head over to FanHome and subscribe to this build today. I put a direct link down below in the description. So, without further ado, let's get started. And welcome back to another installment of Build the Enterprise D from FanHome. And this is, of course, the Starship Enterprise from the Star Trek The Next Generation. Issue number 4 is here finally, or pack 4 as you might want to call it. We have 4 more stages to build here. And let's go ahead and look through the magazine just here real quick. We'll be working on stages 11 through 14. And you can see we'll be building some more of the upper skeleton parts along with the Cobra neck, the neck of the Enterprise. We'll be putting more lights into that and windows. Lots going on here, doing some light tests with those. And if you followed my previous builds for this, you'll know I do additional light blocking, I do super glue some stuff, and it's going to save me a lot of time later on. So the magazine itself does give us an episode guide, and this is episode 1.6, Where No One Has Gone Before. The next one is Lonely Among Us, which is episode 7 from season 1. Episode 8, Justice, from season 1. And that aired in 1987. Seems like a long time ago. But I absolutely love this series. Episode 9 from season 1, The Battle. Wonderful here, showing some of the real models that were used during the filming of the TV series. Episode 10, Hide and Q. Wonderful there. Episode 11 from season 1, Haven. Episode 12, The Big Goodbye. Great article there. And there you go. Let's go ahead and look at the parts that came with this issue. Stage 11, we have upper skeleton part frames there. Stage 12, some supports for those frames. Stage 13, some more skeleton frames. And lastly, stage 14, some more skeleton frames. Also, that came as a gift with this issue, and you may want to check the website yourself when you sign up for this to find out what you'll get exactly for gifts. But I got a huge parts box, so you can put your extra parts and windows and such in here. Keep them more organized, that way you don't lose them. But that's fantastic. It's big. It's a big box. So there you go. Okay, let's go ahead and get started on stage 11. Let's look at the build instructions for stage 11. Here's the parts for stage 11. And there's a listing of those parts. Here's the assembly instructions for stage 11. And give you a moment to look at the key there. Gives you color coding, red, yellow, gray, and blue. Tells you what those are for. And working on the Cobra neck there. and showing us what we have to do with those windows when we install those LED lights, and securing everything down with the screws, installing the next upper skeleton part. Let me get the parts, I'll be right back. Here's the parts for stage 11. I'll take these out, we'll get a closer look. Here's the parts. Here's the upper skeleton part. The frame itself, of course, made of metal. Very nice there. 2 more sets of LED lights, some windows, along with BM and BP screws. Bring over the Cobra neck, and this is what we assembled in the previous packs or stages. And what they want us to do is install a set of windows here, and what they want us to do is install some LEDs onto this. And when we install the LEDs onto this, we're going to use 2 sets of LED bundles. Have the 11D LED with the green yellow wire, and the 11E LED with the yellow brown wire, along with the red blue, like the other one had the red blue also. We're going to be using both of these on that window, and we're going to actually install 11D on top, the green yellow, and then the yellow brown 11E on the bottom side. Okay, so I'm going to super glue those in place before I install this, and then I'll show you what goes next. Okay, they are super glued in place now. That way they don't come out later on. Now they want you to bend this one up 90 degrees. So that's what I'll do, is I'll bend that up 90 degrees. And I'll go ahead and install this on that Cobra neck. Next, to go ahead and put the windows into the Cobra head. And then the reflector on top of that. Four BP screws go into this. And the last one. And you want to be careful with these as you put them in. Don't over tighten them so they don't strip. That's good there. And that's how that looks there. Next, I'll bring over the upper skeletal frame from stage 10, and I'll bring over this upper skeletal frame from this stage, and that's going to go right up against it. We're going to put 4 BM screws into this. And the next one. And the next one. And the last one. That looks good there. And that's all I do with stage 11. Looks great. Let's head over and get started on stage 12. And here's the parts I received with stage 12. With this stage, I'm going to install the windows on the other side of the Cobra neck. And we'll do just like we did before. We'll go ahead and super glue those LEDs into the windows. Make sure we bend those up out of the way. Secure them down with some screws. Let me get the parts, I'll be right back. Here's the parts for stage 12. Let's get a closer look. Here's the supports for the skeleton frame, the windows for the other side of the Cobra neck, BP and BM screws. Go ahead and insert these windows where they belong, just like that. Now we'll go ahead and get our reflector ready. We're going to super glue those LEDs that came on the other bundles that we did previously, and they're going to get super glued in place just like that. There's two of them that are involved here. Both LEDs are super glued in place. We have the black and red LED on the bottom and the red and blue on top. Now we're going to go ahead and mount that to our Cobra neck, but first we need to bend them up 90 degrees, both of them, and insert that down. BP screws go into that, 4 of them. And the last screw. Be careful you don't over tighten these, just till they're snug. And that's how that looks. All 4 screws are in. Turn it over, and our windows are installed. Looks great. And the light test is complete with this. I plugged them into our battery and our little circuit board. You can see that. We already know how to do that, but they all look good there. Now let's go ahead and work on the upper skeletal frames. Alright, bring over the upper skeletal frame here. We're going to put on more supports. We're going to put supports on each side. You can see on the other side here what that looks like there. So we're going to put a larger one right here. 2 screws will go into that to keep it secure. And then we'll put the shorter one behind it. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. I'll be right back. Okay, both of the supports are installed. Just make sure your screws are tight all the way. That's going to be very important at this stage, that you make sure everything is tight. That way later on you don't have any problems. But I did install on the other side also. And that completes stage 12. Let's head over and get started on stage 13. And here's the parts for stage 13. Here's a list of those parts. Stage 13, we'll go ahead and work on the Cobra head once again. I'm going to install the main impulse engine and work on the upper skeletal frame. Here's the parts for stage 13. Let's take these out, we'll get a closer look. And here's those parts. Here's our upper skeletal frame once again, made of metal. Very nice. Here's our main impulse engine, the color red. Very nice there. Another part of that. DP and BM screws. Bring over the Cobra head here. I'm going to turn that over. We're going to put the main impulse engine into this, and that would be the color frame for that, and that's going to insert, slide in just like that. We're going to put 3 DP screws into this, and the last one. That looks good there. Give you an idea what it looks like with the light behind it. Very cool. Let's go ahead and work on the upper skeletal frame. Bring over the upper skeletal frame here, and you can see we're working on, looks like the right hand side. Could be the left hand side, I don't know, but I'll follow the illustration, and this is what they show. And I'm going to take and put the skeletal frame right on this, right beside it. Okay, so this takes 4 screws, once again, BM screws, and then we'll get that installed. And that's it. Just make sure everything is tight. That's what that looks like there. That's all I do with stage 13. Let's head over and do the final stage for pack number 4, stage 14. Here's the parts for stage 14. Another upper frame. The list of those parts. And we'll work on the upper skeleton once again and the main impulse engine. Install the upper skeletal frame on this, just like we've been doing all along. And then work on the main impulse engine. We're going to insert that part that we left off before. LEDs are involved here. We'll screw those down and then we'll do a light test. Let me get the parts and I will be right back. Here's the parts for stage 14. Let me take these out, we'll get a closer look. Here's those parts: CP screws, BP screws, and BM screws. Here's the parts for the main impulse engine. This would be a grouping of LEDs on a circuit board. Very nice there. Frame for that. And the lens for it. Be careful you don't lose this. It was in a clear bag, so it was kind of hard to see that it was in there, but there's your clear lens. And of course another skeletal frame. And we'll go ahead and bring over our upper saucer frame, and we're going to put this next frame we got on the other side, and it's going to go down just like that. 4 more BM screws go into that. That's good there. Make sure they're all tight. That frame is installed there. Now let's go ahead and work on the main impulse engine on the Cobra neck. Go ahead and start working on the main impulse engine here again. I think it looks great. We'll get the parts over here. And they don't want us to put our lens in on this part here. And it looks like it only goes in one way. It's angled. Goes inside. It just gets inserted just like that. And bring over the Cobra neck. Now this is going to slide in there just like that. And we're going to install our LEDs into the frame here. And now we're going to install our LED onto this bracket here. And it's simply going to go down on top of this just like that. Now it needs to line up with the hole that's on here, so it only goes on one way. There you go. BP screw goes into that, and just like this. Till it's tight. That's good there. See how that looks there. And I think I want to super glue that in place. Put a little kicker on it. And that is kicker is super glue accelerator. That's what it looks like. Let that dry a bit, then we'll insert it into the Cobra neck. And it's all dry, and you can see what the LEDs look like in there. Now this is going to go down right on top of that, where it will get screwed down just like that. 2 CP screws go into this just to make sure it's snug. There we go. That's what that looks like there, and that's what that looks like there. We're going to go ahead and do a light test for this. And there you go. That's what that looks like there. It's actually a very mild red. It's kind of hard to see that in the picture. Very nice. That completes stage 14. I'll be right back. And that completes pack 4. Had a blast building this. This is a wonderful kit. And remember, this is only available from FanHome. I put a direct link in the description below. Head over there and check out this build for yourself and see what gifts you'll receive with your subscription. I think it's a wonderful build, and I'm really glad that FanHome brought it back to us and is offering it as a full kit for you. So if you haven't already signed up for this, I highly recommend you sign up for this one. It's huge. Starship Enterprise is the biggest enterprise made of metal that's out there and available for us Star Trek fans. So had a blast building the upper frames and the Cobra neck. Wow, I'm super excited for this one. So stay tuned for pack 5 next month, and I'll continue with this build. If you like my content, please subscribe to my channel and smash that like button. Happy modeling, everybody, and take care.